second, and we're just waiting for beautiful Andrea to join me. She's already on Facebook and YouTube, and we are waiting just for, let's see. We are almost there. Can you see?
Yes, I can see you.
Excellent. Andrea, yes, ask to join.
How do I ask to join?
You click there, you'll see.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Yes. You should be on within a second. Connecting. Yes, we are on.
We're on.
Yes, we are on, and I think just your Instagram has the phone has to go a little bit up because your head is cut.
Okay.
Or actually down. Yeah, better, but turn it a bit so you're more in the middle. Here we go. Now we see you. Here we go. Beautiful.
Okay.
Excellent. Yes, we are on and easy. No problem.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Andrea?
Very well, very well.
Yes,
Excited
everything
to talk with you.
good. I'm excited to talk to you. You are in Spain?
No, in Portugal.
In Portugal, yes, in Portugal, yes, in
Yes.
Portugal. And
Yes.
how is it going there? How is the corona insanity in Portugal?
It has calmed a lot now, thankfully. We are finished with the quarantine 3 weeks ago.
Ah, nice.
Yes, so slowly, everything has been opening and we can go to the beach and everything is going back to normal slowly.
And what about restaurants?
They are open with restrictions like how many people get in,
Okay.
and
And
they can do takeaway also.
what about gym?
Gym, I think is not open. I'm not sure. I haven't asked.
Okay, good. My main problem with the quarantine is the gym. I'm really heavyweight. I'm doing gym, but it's not the same.
Not the same as going to the gym. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine.
Good. So let's talk. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, I have lots of questions, so let's see how far can we go. But
As far as
I have
can.
questions from friends, mine, and even from my kids.
Okay. Wow.
So I will start with my kids' questions because they are here listening and they're excited to listen. Okay, there we are. They are 11 years old, and one is boy, one is girl. They're twins. One of them has a question, and then the other one. So.
Yeah, no problem. Let's shoot.
Okay, let's shoot. The first question is from my boy. He wants to know if effort and hard work are the key to success, or if not, what is the key to success?
Okay, good. So let's define it. Hard work, yes, but hard work do not mean to sweat. It means to do the work enthusiastically. One of the definition of the word hard work is actually to do the work enthusiastically. So if you do the work when you are really enthusiastic about it and you are certain that you will get results, you will get results. The moment that you start to put effort into it, you will fail. Because effort is a manifestation of lack of certainty. Effort is a manifestation of lack of certainty.
Okay.
So if you want to succeed, you need to be probably the most important thing about success is your level of certainty. The more certain you are, the more successful you are. And the enemy of certainty is effort. Now, when you play a game, and you play the game not to win, not to lose, but when you play a game to enjoy the game, what you do, you put out effort, you don't feel effort. It's totally different thing. And it's beautiful, that's okay. But when you put out effort, it's not difficult for you. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
fun. It's nice to go and fight and go and do karate and gym and push weight and drive fast, and all of those things are beautiful, and they have effort that you put into them. They're not effort to you. For you, it's fun. The moment that something become serious, not fun, heavy, effort, you lost already. So usually you lose before you begin, because
Mm-hmm.
what makes you succeed, what makes you a successful person, is before you begin, you are certain that you are. So that's the answer for that.
Okay, thank
Is
you.
it there?
So, yes, he's here.
Okay, good. If he
Yes,
has any
he's
other question, you can ask more.
okay. He will let me know. And then the question from my girl, she wants to know how can we overcome any fear?
Okay. So fear is an invitation not to observe, not to look. Fear is an invitation to run away from things. Okay, so you can actually run away from things and become afraid, or be afraid and you will run. It works both way. So the handling of fear is actually looking at what you're afraid of. And the magic is, the moment that you look at something, you will not be afraid. The moment that you actually look or do what you're afraid of, the fear goes away. I'll give you a short story that will demonstrate this thing very nicely. So I had a group of advanced students in South Africa, and part of the training that I've done for them was doing bungee jumping. So I
Mhm.
took what we've learned and I got them to show them how to overcome all kind of obstacles. One of them was bungee jumping. And this is that was very difficult mentally and physically for some of the students that would never cross the road alone. Let's say, I'm exaggerating, yes, but they were really, really, really afraid of it. And I was teaching them about it in Cape Town, and then we had to drive few hours to where we're going to do the bungee jumping. And as we drove, we were like 30 people on the bus or something like that, 30 or 40, I don't remember how many. And we were driving, and as we drove, as we got closer to the location, people got more and more afraid. And you could
Mhm.
feel the tension in the air, and people were worried, and they start to get pale and very, very nervous because they knew they're going to jump. I'm not letting them not jump. They're going to jump, they're going to jump. And they were really afraid, but really afraid. The closer we got, the more afraid they got. So we got to the location, and to get to the actual bridge where you jump, you walk over a metal mesh, like you see
Yes.
200, 300
Oh,
meters down, and you see that people are walking like that. They're really, really extremely afraid, although the place is totally secure. There's no way that it will break or anything. But they're really afraid. They can hardly walk. And they're afraid, and they're really, really, really afraid. And you go to the place where you got to jump, and the first guy or the first lady that's really afraid, she's like really in tears, but she wants to do that. So they tied her legs and she jumped into the edge of the bridge, and she's really, really, really afraid. Like, we were not sure if even if she will jump, but then she jumped and she's coming up, and and you don't know what's happening, she's like falling, da, da, da. She's coming up and she said, it was the best unbelievable experience ever happened to me, that I want to do it again. It's like unbelievable. And everyone like that. Now what's the observation? At the bus, they were very secure. They were afraid. Going to the bridge, they were extremely secure. They were really afraid. But when it was really dangerous, when they fell down, they were in acceleration. Why? The moment that you look fear in the eyes, you become big, fear becomes slow. So you look at the fear in the eyes, you become big, fear becomes small. For as long as you don't look to fear in the eyes, the fear become big, you become small. What's your size as a being? What's how successful you are is in direct ratio as you look at all invitations to be afraid right in the eyes and say, I'm going to do it. Why? Because the only thing that you're afraid of is actually being afraid. You're not afraid of a shot. You're not afraid of jumping. You're afraid of being afraid. You're afraid of that feeling of being afraid, but you're already feeling it. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So it's really insane. The only handling for fear is to look at it right in the eyes. You have coronavirus, go out. Everyone is afraid. I'm not afraid. You do what's legal, yes, but you do it in such a way and you say, I am not afraid. I don't care. When Corona see me, Corona runs away. It runs away. When the Corona see me, it runs away because I'm so certain that it doesn't get close to me. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid. Look at the problem in the eye. The only way to handle fear is to look to the fear in the eyes and to know that actually fear is a state of no communication, no perception. So you don't perceive. So of course, what you're afraid of do not exist because you
Mm-hmm.
don't see it. It's like when a person, let's say there's a blind person and he doesn't see. So for him, what he's afraid of do not exist because he doesn't see what's there. Yes, he's just
Yeah.
afraid in his head. All the thing that you're afraid of is in your head. Nothing is real.
Okay. So we are afraid of the fear itself and of the feeling of being afraid.
Yeah, the only thing that you're afraid of is being afraid, and this is quite fascinating. The moment that you understand that you're afraid of being afraid, and you're already afraid, so just get over with it. Look into it. Just look into the fear, whatever is making you afraid. You're afraid of an argument, go and argue. You're afraid of doing bungee jumping, go and jump. You're afraid of your credit card, look at the credit card bill. You're afraid of this guy, go and look at the guy. And why people don't do that? People don't go and look because they think secretly that the freedom is not as important as the feeling. They think the feeling is more important than the freedom. They think that their health is more important than the freedom. And it is a lie because if I'll put you in a box and I get you to feel very good all the time in a box, but you'll be alone and miserable basically because you will not have anything to be afraid of, yes?
Yeah.
But you will be alone. You will not be very happy. So the truth is that your freedom is more important than your immediate body, is more important than your health, is more important than anything. Your freedom is why you live. And when you give away your freedom, you give away yourself. So you don't have actually a reason to live. And fear do that, just that. It cages you in a
Mm-hmm.
cage that you create, and that cage is built from shadows because what you're afraid of do not exist. If I'll give you a cent for every time you've been worried and nothing happened, you will become a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Yes? So don't be afraid. Look at the fear in the eye. And you do that on a gradient scale. You just look at a little bit and then a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And all of a sudden you see, nah, you know what? I can look at that in the eye. And as
Okay.
an exercise for people, what I would do, I will find every week one thing I'm afraid of and decide that for this week, I'm going to just slowly find things within it that I will not be afraid of. Just small things. Okay? That's one way. And the other way to overcome it is to sit down and if there's something that really makes you afraid, to sit down and to make a list of what could be more frightening than what you're afraid of. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say I'm afraid that my husband will beat me. Okay? I'm afraid of it. Okay? Good. What can be worse than that? I'm afraid that I will be sick. Okay, good. What could be worse than that? I'm afraid, and there's always something worse. And then once you understand that there's a lot of things that could be worse, you actually understand there's nothing to be afraid of.
Okay. Great tip.
Thank you.
Okay. She's listening here, so she's taking notes. Then I have another question.
If she has more
from
questions, she's very welcome.
Okay. What? Wait a second. There's a question. Okay. He wants to know what is the greatest accomplishment we can do in our lives?
Help people. You measure by how many people you can help. Your value is in how many people you actually helped, and there's something really fascinating. If you really help people, you will see that you get a lot of rewards, financial rewards, respect, etc. And the only mistake that you can make is that you will think that help means not getting something back. No, help means getting something back. You help and you get something back. It can be a help back, it can be money, it can be appreciation, it can be love, but you must make sure for the good of the other person that you get something back. Why? Because what is a criminal? A criminal is something that you give him that takes something without giving you something back. That's a criminal, yes? So every time you give something, even if your intention is good, but you don't get something back, you actually make the other person a criminal. That's probably one of the biggest problem of parents, that they give, and don't expect something back from the kids. So when they get to become teenagers, they start to attack the parents, and they attack the parents not because of the hormones, they attack the parents because for a long time they felt criminal. So what's going on? This is me and this is my kid, and I give him. Every time I give him, I make him wrong because he doesn't give me back. So when he start to make me wrong. This is called being teenager. So he start to feel good. But my kids never had teenagers. Like they never been a teenager. We never had that problem. Why? Because they always contributed. So we didn't have this thing that they needed to make us wrong. Because from the age of 0, they started to work. So the first thing you can do is you can go to someone and help him without getting back something. That will make the other person criminal. Every relationship that you had that used to be a very good relationship, you had a good friend, you helped them a lot, and now they're attacking you, is because you gave them without asking for anything back. It is actually quite fascinating. Of course, you can give something and they give you something back, but it's not the same still. Or you can give them and they give you the same thing back, not the same. What you need to do, you need to give them more than expected. And then you need to make sure that they somehow give you something back. They can give you something back by kissing you. They can give you something back by saying good things about you. They can give you something back by paying you. They can give you something back somehow. But when you help, you need to help and make sure you get return. And when you help, you always help with a wow. You do something with a wow. You give them more than they expect, and you demand. You don't just expect. You demand. You make sure they give you something back. If not, you make them into a criminal, and they will attack you. There's no question about it. They will attack you. So what you need to do if you want to be successful is to give with the wow, which means you give more than expected. And when you give with a wow, when you give more than expected, when you do more than what someone expects, he automatically, if he's sane, he will want to give you back. And it will be either by promoting you or by saying something nice about you or by paying you or by coming back to your restaurant or doing something for you. And because he did not something for you, he should do that with a wow too. He should wow you as well. And if he's doing that, you will want to do it, and you will see that there's expansion, and things grow. And if you allow them not to pay you back with the excuse that, oh, well, I'm helping him, what you make him dependent on you. That's what communism doing. That's what a state that believe in just welfare, so everyone should not work, we'll give you money. All of these things create criminals at the end.
that harms us in the end.
Yeah,
Okay, great. Great advice.
no problem.
Another question from a friend is related to the situation now in the world. Like we're in lots of uncertainty and trouble, not only about for Corona, but in lots of other things happening now. So she wanted to know, what can we do, like not to lose hope? How can on what can we focus to get hope back and
Okay.
not lose hope?
Okay, good. Okay. So the way to make to bring the hope back is, number one, to know that you've been lied to. How do you know that someone lied to you? When someone caused you to be afraid, when someone tried to control you, he lies to you.
Yeah.
This is really something that you need to have down, like 100%, no question about it. If someone tried to control you, he lies to you. If your husband tried to control you, he lies to you. If you lie to your husband, you try to control him. You try to make sure that he will not look where he's supposed to look, yes? So anyone that lied to you tried to control you, and anyone that tried to control you lies to you. This have to be a law that is like 100%. You know it, it's clear, it's 100%, okay? Now, so when you see people that try to control you, when someone tell you you need to be in quarantine, it's not important what's the excuse, they lie to you. Now, it's not an invitation to break the law. It's just an invitation to make you cause, to make you in a position where you know what's happening. Now, the moment that you know it, the moment that you know that they lie to you, you will not be afraid. And if you will not be afraid, you will create your future. You don't need for someone to give you hope. You give hope to others. So how do you create hope for yourself? By giving hope to others. You look at the data. You decide that you can. You are not afraid. You set up a good example and you give hope to others. You don't expect to get hope from others. And if you do that, you will see, if you take that responsibility and you say, my responsibility is to give hope to others, and you will see that when you do that, they will raise above the fear and they will start to give hope to others. And all of a sudden, you will see that things will handle. All you have to do is to not underestimate how powerful you are. Just set up a good example. Just set up a good example. Just be the example for the world. And don't think that you're just one person. People look at you and they actually, you're affecting them. And you can affect them in one of two ways. Either act insanely, and insanity is contagious, and you will see that people will get insane, and so they will lose hope, they will be afraid, they will do crazy things, or give them hope. Don't expect hope from them. Give them hope, and you will see they will start to give hope to other people. And the moment that you do that, the moment that it's you that put the hope there, you that put the joy into things, you that create, you not expect from others, you become so powerful that nothing can hurt you.
Great, amazing.
Yeah.
Mm, You have another question? Okay, what? Ah, he wants to know why human beings are racist. What is the
What?
reason? Why
Race?
human beings are racist? Yes. What is the reason for being racist?
Human beings are not racist. What happen is, when you take a human being and you brainwash him by media that tells you some lie about someone, that this someone is different than you, that is not human, then it seems like they act like they are racist. But human being in the core are actually loving. If you take white, black, yellow, Jews, Arabs, children together before they've been brainwashed, there's no problem. Children don't see, oh, this guy is black, this guy is this guy is that. You put children together and they play and blah, 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 and everything is fun until you have an adults that come and brainwash them that someone is bad. So the truth is that humans are not racist, but human can be educated, that can be brainwashed to hate. And how do you hate? By convincing that another person is not human. in order to attack another human, you have to be convinced by an external force that the other person is not human. And once you understand that, you will see that actually anything bad that you think about someone else, about Jews, about blacks, about Arabs, about Muslims, about anyone, is because someone brainwashed you. Oh, the Muslims are terrorists, the Muslims are terrorists. The Muslims are not terrorists. I'm sorry. The Muslims are not terrorists. And you're talking to a Jewish person. The Muslims are not terrorists. Are there few terrorists between Muslims? Yes. Are there few terrorists between Jewish people? Yes, between anyone. So the Muslim is not terrorist. But when the message, when the media is so irresponsible that it actually pushing this generality, then you start to think about it. Now, how do you recognize that someone actually doing that? They talk in generality. They say, everyone knows, all the Muslims are, all the Jews are. It's always like that. They talk in generality. When someone talks to you in generality, they lie to you. People that talk to you the truth tell you, 2 people yesterday at 7 o'clock did that. So there is 2 billion Muslims and 2 people at 7 o'clock yesterday did that. So what? So they are Muslim and they've been moved by some kind of a brainwashing that they got from somewhere. But it's 2 people at 7 o'clock that did that. Now the story looks different. The same thing about Corona. If someone will come to you and say, you know, so far around the world, 26 million people die from all kinds of causes. 400,000 people die maybe from Corona. We don't actually know if it's from Corona or not. So all of a sudden you say 400,000 versus 26 million. Oh, it's not dangerous. And by the way, at the same time, with the quarantine all over the world, about 200,000 people die from car accidents, which means if there was no car accident, if there was no quarantine, it will be 1 million. Yes. So when you look at that, you realize, so what's the noise is all about?
Yes.
What's the noise is all about? You look at that and you say 5 million people die from other communicable diseases, and 400,000 people die from Corona. So what's the noise? And all those people had or most of those people had some other prior bad diseases that would kill them in any case. So why are you closing the whole universe? Someone is extremely insane. Again, I'm not telling you not to do anything illegal. What I am telling you is that in your mind, you need to make a decision that this is not okay. And you mustn't underestimate the power of your decision. The power of your decision will change everything. Once you decide that this is actually nonsense, you will see that by your decision alone, you change everything. You will see that anything that happened to you, if you're brave enough to look, somewhere in the past, you made a decision that it could happen. And because you're so powerful, it did happen. Everything that happens is because you decided that it will happen. So all we have to do is just be free, understand that your body is not so important. So when someone threaten you that your body will get hurt, you say, the hell with the body. The hell with the body. It's just a body. It's just a machine. What's more important is my well-being, my family well-being, my people well-being. The damage that has been created by the stress of this quarantine, the damage that gets created by the loss of income, the damage that gets created financially, emotionally, all around the world is immense, and it's based on a lie. How do you know that you have a pandemic? Because I said there's no pandemic. What we have right now is a mild flu. How do I know that there's no pandemic? Because if I take 1 million people that will die from Corona and divide it to 300 countries, what I will get is about 3,000 people per country. 3,000 people per country that will die from corona, with the lies of how they count who is actually die from corona or not. But let's like go for it. 1 million people die from corona. Okay, 3,000 people, it's nothing. In a pandemic, what you see bulldozers pushing bodies. In a pandemic, you see people in a hospital bed in the parking lot of the hospital. In a pandemic, you see people just go and fall down and die. In a pandemic, you see that you know at least half of your friends that die from the pandemic. This is not a pandemic. This is nothing. There is maybe a pandemic in terms of insanity. The insanity is a pandemic. Like 70% of the people, 80% of the people are afraid. That's the pandemic. There is an actual pandemic in the state of mind. There's a state of mind pandemic, but there is no disease pandemic. The corona is not a pandemic. The state of mind, the fear, is a pandemic. I said that this is the only virus known to man that get transmitted by fear and not by actually physical mechanism. People are afraid, so that's it. So the corona is dangerous. Corona is not dangerous. And people are so crazy. They know that the kids don't die from corona. Still, they close their schools.
Mm-hmm.
Nonsense. Well, you're allowed to go between these hours and meet 50 people together, but in the other hours you're not. All kind of insane laws that insane leaders that doing. Why the leaders doing it? Because they themselves are afraid. Why do they afraid? Because the forces, the media, the psychiatrists, that health ministries that get money from the government when there is a big problem, drug companies, people that do vaccines, all those people are pushing the fear. They're pushing the fear. They're promoting that you need to be afraid. Why? Because if you're afraid, they get a lot of money and you are controlled and you become useless and they become rich. So if you are very good, if you are really care about the psychiatrists and the drug company and the media and you want to finance them, be afraid. But if you want to be rich and actually create, don't be afraid. Whatever happens, don't be afraid, because the truth is, it's nothing. It's really nothing. Don't believe the numbers if they don't give you all the numbers. If someone tell you, 7 million people got hurt, is it a lot or little? You don't know. You need to see against what.
In relation. Mm-hmm.
To compare. So why do you think they said the number of people that got infected double in the last 3 days? Because it's generality. It's not. The number of people that got infected don't tell me anything. And it's a lie, because the number did not double by 3 times. It doubled by probably 30 times. The one that they measure is 3 times. If they will actually tell you, look, so far, there's 8 billion people, or in the country, 10 million people in the country. And so far we measured 100,000 people. We tested 100,000 people. And from them, we found 10 people or 1,000 people that are infected. But the majority has not been tested. So if I take that from every 100,000 people I got so far, and I take the whole population that probably got infected already, so the chances of you getting corona is actually lower than the chances of you getting flu. Oh, really? Yes. The chances of you dying from corona is even lower. Oh, really? Yes. Once they give you the full numbers, you know that they want to actually get you to think, get you to decide logical decision. But when they give you just numbers that make you afraid, and they are not the complete numbers, they are lying to you. And if you're smart, you don't buy it. If you're not smart, you get afraid. But by the way, the word clever means the ability to recognize truth. And this is so apropos to what's happening right now. You cannot recognize truth by seeing one number. The only thing that you can recognize that the truth is that they are lying. Because when someone give you one number, or when someone give you numbers that are not connected, or when someone don't give you the full pictures, he's lying to you. You don't have to lie by saying right now is a day when it's actually night. It doesn't have like, it doesn't have to be so extreme. Lie can be just saying, someone asks you, is it a day or night? And you say, well, there are many days and many nights. You're lying. You don't answer the truth. Or when you say, are you rich or poor? And the guy says, I made I actually earned $100,000 this year. Is it rich or poor? I don't know. Maybe you spent 200,000 and maybe you spent a cent. I don't know. I need all the data. I need all the data. Otherwise, you're trying to throw sand in my eyes. You're trying to make me blind. Otherwise, you are lying to me. And smart people know this is a lie because it's a generality. It's not all the data. And the people that are afraid don't see it, and they get afraid. So they say, oh, the number of people double, into the last 3 days, next is me. When you feel like that, you don't think. When you feel like that, you don't think. You're gone.
Yeah.
So what you need to do if you feel like that is just realize that you've been lied to. Yes, I want to see him. Say hi. Let's see him. Hi, handsome. Hi, whoa. How old is he? 11?
11.
He's big.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm
Big.
small.
But he's big. He's like unbelievable. Nice. So beautiful.
Thank you.
Very beautiful. And oh, hello. Wow. Hi. Yo, you have such beautiful kids.
That's the twin.
Wow. Hi. Okay. What's the next question?
Okay, the next one. This is also from my daughter. How do we
Okay.
build self-confidence?
Self-confidence. Okay. To be self-confident, what you need to do is you need to be able to see what's in front of you. And the only thing that prevents you from seeing what's in front of you is doing something that you consider is not okay. And I will explain what I mean. This is you, and when you do something that is not okay, you put a block so other people will not see it. And then you do another thing and you put another block and another block and another block, another block, another block, another block. Every time you do something that is not okay, and you put the blocks. So you put the blocks around you so people will not see what you've done, yes? But actually what happened, you become blind yourself. You become blind. And because you cannot see, you don't have confidence on what will happen. Because what you see is just walls around you. So the way to become self-confidence is to remove those walls. Now, to remove those walls is something that I teach in something that's called Fear to Freedom. And if anyone wants to remove those walls, including the kids, what they need to do is to learn the technique that actually get you to remove these walls. So this is how you cure a person from the walls. And if anyone listening and want to learn how to remove the walls, all you have to do is follow me on Instagram, Meir Ezra Official, and send me a private message, and I will send you some data on how to remove the walls. I'll send you the introduction, and if it will make sense to you, you will buy the full course. And in that course, I will teach you how to remove the walls, and you will see that you have as much money, as much success, as much self-confidence as you don't have walls. The difference between a successful person and not successful person is the number of walls that he puts around himself. You have exactly as much money as you don't have walls. Really fascinating. So just follow me on Instagram, Meir Ezra Official, and write me a private message and I will help you with that. So once you remove the walls, you will see that you can just have an idea, put it out, and it will materialize.
Wow, powerful.
Yeah. So that's how you build self-confidence. You clean your eyes, your hands. You make your hands so clean, so like you don't do anything that is not good. So the handling is to remove the walls, and so that's the handling. And in order to not even have the problem, is just learn how to become more ethical. And this is a whole subject on how to become ethical and what does it mean to be ethical, etc., etc.
Great, amazing. Very powerful.
Thank you.
Okay, I have another question
Okay,
about how are we limited by our past experience?
I didn't hear the question. You got cut.
That how are we limited by our past? Because sometimes we are told that our experience it was makes us more capable, but I have heard you say that we are being limited by our past experience.
Ah, yes. Okay. Okay. So the question is how your experience plays in your life. How important is the experience? Okay. Okay. To understand that, what we need to look at is you've got a child, and the child have no experience, and on the other hand, you've got a guy. He's 80 years old, and he has a lot of experience. Who has more future? The child or the guy 80 years old or 50 or 40 or 30? Who has more experience? If or 2 years, who has more future? 2 years old or 40 years old?
2 years.
2 years. He's got much more future. Why? Because anything is possible for him. You don't. He can go ahead and be the next Einstein. Okay. The possibility are endless. As you get older, your experience is actually every time you've got an experience, you have defined what's possible and what's not possible. So every time you pick up an experience, you actually define this is possible, this is not, this is possible, this is not, this is possible, this is not, this is possible. And you get into a very narrow part. And this narrow part define what you can do. And that's why, as an older man, you don't invent the next thing. Generally, things get invented by the younger people. They come up with a new Facebook. They come up with why? Because your experience limit you. What is the experience? Is the sum of all your limitation. You take children, you take young people, and for them, of course, let's do that. Let's do that. Everything, of course, we can replace the regime. We can. We want freedom. We want this, and they think big, and they want amazing things, and they have endless abilities, and they are the one that bring an improvement, not a change. They are the one that bring an improvement. They're the one that going forward and bring an improvement. And the older people that have experience, they're the one that trying to keep everything the same. And when you try to keep everything the same, this is the moment where you start to die. You start to die when your experience exceed your freedom. When your experience exceed your possibilities, your dreams, you start to die. At that moment, you start to go down. So I said that the biggest enemy of man is his experience, because if we will rely on experience, we will never fly. The reason someone fly, because someone came and said, the hell with experience. Of course, it's not impossible to fly, but I think I can. Why? I don't know, I just think I can. The reason we have a cell phone is because someone said, the hell with these pigeons. Yes, let's make a cell phone. Let's make text. Let's make telegram. Let's make something that will communicate faster. Someone came up, the hell with this thing, and he says, I don't care about the experience. I know that everyone said that it's like that, but I said it's something else. So people that have big ideas are people that do not agree with the experience. They do not agree with the experience of the whole. They say, I know everyone said that, but I have a new idea. I don't care about the experience. And they look and they found an atom. And they look and they find that the blood is flowing in the body. And they look and they say, well, we can, despite the experience. We can, despite the experience, is the answer for anything. What limits you is those laws. The laws, which is your experience. Laws are things that limits you. Laws, experience, past is limitation. A moment that you have been, you can see that, you can say, when you did some extraordinary things, moment that you do extraordinary things, a moment that you disconnected from your experience.
Mm-hmm.
Extraordinary actions are done by people without an experience. Momentarily, they put the experience aside. Someone that go and do something heroic in the army, he is a person that says, the hell with the experience. I know, I don't care if it's dangerous or not. I'm doing it because I'm doing it. Because according to the experience, of course, you mustn't do that. It's very dangerous. Someone that come up with a new thing is someone that says, that momentarily, he says, the hell with the experience. I know it's dangerous. I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yeah, so
So, experience is your enemy. The more you rely on your experience, the more dead you are. You want to start to be alive? Find some things in your life that you can do against your experience. Just small things, small, not big, just small things. And if you'll do that more and more and more and more, you will see that your life will start to be fun. And before that, your life will be like doors that close on you towards death.
mm,
And when you say the hell with the experience, they're open and anything is possible. The lights come in and you start to live.
yeah. So
Okay?
we build our own walls.
Exactly. We build our own walls, and those walls are built from experience. And it's just a decision. You can change it. You don't have to be limited by your experience.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Make sense?
Yes, yes. Okay. Uh,
Let me just say thank you for everyone that joined us. So I see Raymond and Friends TV, and I see Amit, and I see Harold, and I see different people on Instagram. So thank you very much for joining us. And let me tell you very quickly on if you want to learn more, if you think that what I'm telling you here is interesting for you, it's actually valuable, not just interesting, but actually valuable for you. And if you want to learn more, I'm doing a free webinar on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at 9 p.m. South Africa time, and I think in your time it's 10 p.m. Is that correct in Europe?
yes.
Yeah, at 10 p.m. in Europe generally, so somewhere around 9 or 10 p.m. you can look. The stable number is 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's totally free. It's not easy, but it will move all the furnitures in your head. You will learn things that you never thought that are there, and you will become so powerful that people will start to look at you and say, whoa, and money will flow to you. I'm talking about spirituality. I'm talking about yoga. I'm talking about the secrets of life. But once you know those things, you become Jewish. Money comes to you. Yes. So if you want money to come to you, if you want success to come to you, if you want your life to be without fear, if you want to know that you are the boss over your life, if you want to learn how to do that, all you have to do is to go to www.meirezra.com/yoga, and you can see that link, that URL on the screen if you're watching Facebook and if you're watching YouTube. And if you're on Instagram, all you have to do is to go to my bio, click the button, join, and get ready for a totally different life. Totally. Okay, next question.
Next question. Okay. Um, I had one about living with kids during quarantine. Like
Ah, yeah.
some countries are already relaxed, but in other countries it's still very strict and they can't go out at all. So how can you deal with kids and with patients and like make them feel good, because they are also suffering from not seeing their friends and everything like that.
Yeah. Okay. So what you need to understand that kids have always good intentions, and sometimes they're not good actions. But in the quarantine, during the quarantine, what you need to do is to come to an agreement with the kids how they actually contribute to the home. How do they actually help? You need to sit with them and define, this is what your job is, this is what your job is, this is what your job is, this is what you do, this is what you need to learn, this is, and it's not exactly, it doesn't have to be what the school said that you need to learn, but what you actually want. What is your purpose? What are your interests? What is really your interest? Now let's work together and figure out how you can become cause of that interest, how you can learn becoming the best in that, or pick up a problem that they have and sit with them and figure out a way how they can become cause over it. And you pick up one problem and another problem, and you make sure that they are productive. Your job as a mother, as a father, to be the manager that get those employees working. They need to work and produce, and otherwise you pay them for nothing. If you have a company and you've got people working for you and you pay them for nothing, you'll go bankrupt. That's what happened in a family. If in a family you've got children that the parents just give, and the children do nothing, the family will go bankrupt. Bankrupt not financially, emotionally. You will become emotionally bankrupt. So the best way to make your children do well and feel good is to get them to become productive. You need to make sure that they produce. You need to make sure that they have something that they bring result in, something that has a defined result that you both agree that they're going to get the result. Now, the whole story of children is much bigger. If you have questions about children and you want to know how to manage, how to live with children peacefully, what I suggest that you would do is that you will write to me and I will send you some. I'm doing something that's called the Parent Academy. The Parent Academy is a series of 50 lessons, and what you will need to do is to start understanding what it is all about. So if you are interested, private message me. I will send you a free webinar on how to deal with kids, and it's basically the 10 common mistakes or the most common mistakes parents do with raising children. And once you will learn that, that alone will improve everything. All you have to do is just write me in the private message that you want to learn about the children or about the Parent Academy, and I will send you the free webinar, and you'll see your life will change.
Wow, thank you. So many
I think
parents will get.
Instagram have 1 hour of transmissions, and we are almost there. So, do you want to ask me the last question?
The last question is, yes, about we always hear you say how we are responsible for everything that happens to ourselves, but sometimes we don't recognize it. It's hard to assume it. So how can we just really accept that we are responsible for everything? And what is your definition of responsibility?
Wow, you asked me to tell you the whole Wikipedia in 5 seconds. Okay. So let's let me do let me explain one part of the question. Okay, let's understand what is responsibility. Okay, so when I look at responsibility, you'll see that there's levels of responsibility. There's no black and white. There's lots of grays, and I can divide those grays to a level where you are fully responsible, and below that, all the way down, is when you are not responsible. Okay. Now, when you are not responsible, you can say that you affect. Okay. When you're not responsible, you affect things happening to you. The most affecting in the universe is a physical thing. This is an effect. This doesn't say, oh, I feel hungry, or I'm unhappy. So the physical universe, those things, dead things, are effect. So every time You are affect everything that every time that something happened to you, you are affect, and so not responsible. And people come and say, well, but if he punched me, well, who put you there? Why didn't he punch him? The fact that you cannot look far enough to see how you created it, it does not mean that you did not create it. But what we can say that anything that happened to you, you acting at least like a stone because you're effect. If it happened to you, you're an effect. Okay? Now, there's a way to raise your responsibility. I'm not talking about it right now, but right now I will just explain what it means. Okay. Now, just a level above total effect, you can say that there is a problem. What is a problem? A problem is two people that pushing once against another. I want to do that, you want to do that. He wants that, you want that. That's a problem. Yes, this is a problem. That's something like that. At that level, both people think that they are right, and they're alternating between I'm right and I'm wrong. When I'm overpowering you a little bit, I'm right, you are wrong. And when you are overpowering me, you are right and I'm wrong. And it's going between right and wrong, and you have a problem. This is a problem. Just above that, there's a level where you say that what you caused is you. So you can say self-causation. Self-causation means that if I hit you, I say it's me. But if you hit me, I say it's not me because you hit me. Okay? So that's a higher level of responsibility, because what I do, I take responsibility for. I say that I created it. So if I hit you, I say, yes, I created it. But if you hit me, I said no. Okay? Now, the highest level of responsibility, the point where I can create everything, is actually when I assume the point of creator. Okay? When I am cause. When I assume the point of a creator, when you are the creator, you are responsible. What does it mean, the creator? Everything that happened to me, and everything that has been done to me, and everything that I've done, and everything that happened to anyone, I know that it's me because I create what's happening in my life. And I create what's anything around me, anything that I'm aware of, and anything that I'm not aware of, I create it. At that moment, I'm the creator. That's full responsibility. Now, you will see that some people are, some areas of your life, you have full responsibility. Your hand, you have full responsibility for it. Yes? And you will see that any area that you're doing well is an area that you decide, I know. When you do well, you decide, I know. You are actually certain. Yes? So it's a level of certainty that you 100% know, so you create the area. As you deteriorate, you say, well, I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what the other person doing. As you deteriorate, you say, well, he is to blame, he is to blame, he is to blame. So you're pushing once against another. And as you deteriorate even below that, your life is only you've been hit, and things happening to you. So you can say that the definition of responsibility is the willingness to be source or to be cause. It is the willingness to be the creator. It's the willingness to say, I'm the God over my area. God, not like the God, yes, but I'm the creator of the area. I'm the God over anything that's happening. It's me. From my viewpoint, I create it, and so I can uncreate it. So for as long as you are stone, for as long as you are effect, things happen to you and you can do nothing about it. And the moment that you assume that you raise on responsibility, the moment that you go higher on responsibility up to the point of a creator, you will see that you can do, or you can create or uncreate anything by decision alone. Now, there is a whole Wikipedia, as I told you, to learn this whole thing. But this is the general answer to give you the area. If you want to learn more about that specific subject, Fear to Freedom is the subject. Fear to Freedom is a very powerful series of webinars that teach you how to become cause of a life, how to become cause over your life.
Amazing. Great definition. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kids. If follow me on Instagram, Meir Ezra Official. please share the video if you see it on Facebook or on, oops, we finished the share, whoops, this thing just finished, Instagram just finished, 1 hour. So share the video and like it. And if you have any question, follow me on Instagram and ask me question. Thank you very, very much, Andrea. Thank you for the kids. I love you, and I see you, I think, on Friday. We have a restart of the web formula, yes?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.